Hello there, Wananobis. As promised, this is kind of like a little end of the year video. Just a little bit last minute this. I was going to make more of a big deal of it and go through some stuff. I've just written a little list of some things that I have enjoyed this year. And I've got something to show you as well. This came in the post yesterday. It is another thing I've picked up on eBay. Just as you do at Christmas, you know, you're flipping around. And it's this episode 1 scaled down armored tank with droid. One of the reasons I wanted to get it was because of this guy who's blue, which is awesome. This goes all the way back to 1999. This is also a scaled down tank. I'd like to think that in the army, I'd like to think they had a few of these little micro tanks going around, but apparently the consensus is that that's deliberately scaled down to make it a toy. So what have I got here? I've just got a few things spinning. This was my last review. This was a little bit of a army building. Well, I showed you how I army built this guy, which is I nearly said Republic then. The Naboo Royal Guard. So check out that last video of mine. Part of the Vintage Collection Quick Shot series. My plan at the beginning of 2019 was to have that entire series wrapped up, because there was 115 figures. There's 365 days in a year. But, you know, with other stuff that I've been reviewing and days off here and there, I didn't quite manage to do the entire, you know, Vintage Collection last year. But that doesn't matter. You know, there's this year coming. So, you know, I've been on a roll. I've done about 5 or 6 in a row of that series. I do enjoy it. So I'm on a roll. So as of the new year, we'll move on with the Vintage Collection Quick Shot series. And then we'll move on into the new era of the Vintage Collection, which is post 115. So things like this. 162A. We're going to talk about him again in a minute. The Sith Trooper. But the other thing of the Vintage Collection, which is coming up, I was going to do this before the year ended. And I'll tell you why this fella's spinning in a minute. Just hang fire. I'm going to review this. I'm looking forward to that. We'll make that like a New Year's Day or something, maybe tomorrow. Or very soon I'll be opening that bad boy. Lots to say about that. In fact, actually, no, I'll put him in shot now. Or it in shot, because I want to talk about that with regards to the year we've had. So I've got a little list here. The best thing for me in 2019 had to be the katana. If you were one of the people lucky enough to win one, awesome. You know, I was in the right place at the right time. So I have to thank Fantha Tracks for that one, because they sort of broadcast when it was going to be listed, and they were right. So a load of people I know got one, and if you didn't get one, then I'm very sorry, sincerely sorry, because it's my ultimate piece, and it's actually started me collecting vehicles left, right, and centre. Absolutely crazy. I'm packed out with vehicles, which is great. Moving to a new property soon, so I'm hoping to showcase all those new acquisitions together. So why is this guy spinning? Well, I put him in because he's like one of my favourite figures to just newly acquire. It's Arvel Crinid, and he's awesome. I really want them to make a blue leader as well. Blue leader. He could look awesome like this. Antok Merrick I'm talking about. I've said that for a long time. There's a big thing going on right now. I'm sure there's people doing petitions and stuff like that, but I don't know if it'll work. But if it does, brilliant. I will not say no to Blue Leader. And speaking of things that were in 2019 that were great, those new X-Wings were awesome, except if I'd had my own choice, I would have had a Blue Leader X-Wing as opposed to Luke's. But no, Luke's was a good one. Let's get these guys out the way now. This here symbolises a lot of disappointments this year, because I had the chance to pick one of these up at an event, at my first ever Star Wars event. I went to Echo Base Live, so that's something else that happened this year, and I had one of these in my goddamn hands, man. Except it was £65 because he'd imported them, so you know, you pay a bit extra for import costs, whatever. I wrongly put it down because I'd already spent a lot of money that day, back in May. It was May the 4th, I believe, and I thought that I was going to get one via a retailer that is now defunct. So I put it down. I've learned a valuable lesson there. If you've got something in your hand and you've got a feeling, if you have a bad feeling about this, if you think that you might not get it in the future, or there's a chance you might not get it. Because I thought to myself, nah, I don't want to spend £65. I've pre-ordered it for whatever it was, 40 something pounds, but that pre-order never arrived, and that company is no longer with us. So a lot of people have lost a lot of money, and it was all disgraceful, quite frankly. But that's by the by now. The new year has ended all right because I've managed to get one of these via, ironically, not Star Action Figures, ID Toys again. Did I say Star Action Figures before? I meant ID Toys. If I did say Star Action Figures, I meant ID Toys. In-demand toys from their booth. I had one of these in my goddamn hands, man, and deeply regret not buying one. I did acquire him via eBay, which I spent more money than I needed as opposed to buying it all in one set. But one way or another, I had to buy this because I just had to right the wrong that I made earlier in the year. So, moving on. I will open this as we talk, you know. Have I got a knife? Let's see. What else about the year? So I went to Walt Disney World in the summer. Had a fantastic time. The only regret was that Galaxy's Edge was not yet open. I tried to get in. When I was there, it was a nightmare. I was there at the very end of July, early August, and they had cast member previews there. So if I'd known somebody, if I was a bigger channel, and I'd said to everybody, hey, subscribers, I'm going to go to Walt Disney World, and if anybody of you who work for Disney and want to put me as your +1, I am all for it. Unfortunately, I'm no such kind of YouTuber, and unfortunately, I could not get into Galaxy's Edge. I did make a little bit of a thing of it. I was outside filming, and I tried to do a Jedi mind trick. The guys, some of them found it funny, that some of them were just obviously not interested, and they were busy or whatever. You don't need to see my identification. One guy laughed, you know, politely, but, you know, I was just in their face. They would probably have people coming up to them all day saying, can we get in? Can we get in? Can we get in yet? Nah, you can't get in. You're not a cast member. Goodbye. But anyway, so I know that Tim from Bosk's Bounty is there right now, or has been there. Man, do you know one thing, Tim? If you're watching this, I do not want to watch The Rise of Resistance, the ride, because that would be a spoiler. It's like a movie, isn't it? You know, you don't want to see a film, you know, or clips of it. I don't know. I don't want to watch. Yeah, I don't want to watch any footage from that ride. Tim Tracker, Resort TV 1, none of those guys, those vloggers that I watch, theme park. Oh, look at that. That's a blast from the past, isn't it? Look at that. Wow. Oh, I missed a bidding on one of them. Anyway, so yeah, Tim, but I look forward to doing an episode of the Wretched Hive with you when you come back. There's lots to talk about. We can talk about Tross, T-R-O-S, and then we can talk about the Rise of Skywalker. And then we can also talk about your trip to Galaxy's Edge, to Batuu, to Black Spire Outpost. Bright suns, everybody. Anyway, look at this guy. That's what I wanted it for. I love I've done a review, actually. I did a vintage collection quick shot. I think it's VC7. I can't remember what VC number he is, but I did a review of the vintage collection B1 Battle Droid. And this one is blue, which is awesome. Never knew this toy existed until, you know, you flip through eBay and you see stuff that you realise, whoa, it's just saturated with toys. But yeah, that's quite interesting. So that's why I've got him. I'm not going to open it, to be honest with you. Not yet. I'll just sort of, you know, I might do if I keep on talking. What else have I got to tell you about the year? Look at that, classic, innit? I'm going to tie them in there. The Mandalorian, now that's a good thing this year. Absolutely fantastic. I've loved that. That's the light side of Disney. The dark side of Disney has been something else this year. Disney Star Wars, I mean. It's been a great year for the vintage collection. It's been a great year for... I'm just going to open this as I'm talking. A great year for vehicles. The vintage, the Poe Dameron X-Wing was great, and there's been tons of great vehicles, loads of Return of the Jedi stuff, original trilogy characters coming back to coincide with the Katana. So I've been a happy punter. The Horizon looks quite good as well. They're going to be bringing out some Empire Strikes Back things, so I'd love them to bring out a Lobot. I've said that for years on this channel, right from the beginning. If you're new around here, I started my channel to speculate about the future of the vintage collection. Check out a series of mine called the Vintage Collection Wishlist series if you want to check out the playlists. And, you know, pick out what you like there. Loads of characters I've talked about that I want to see them bring in. People like the Ugnaught, the Lobot, and oh my god, the AT-AT driver on the Picard back. That would be awesome. And then the Mandalorian's been amazing. Incredible. That guy I've just put in shot because that hasn't really floated my boat this year. I watched the Last Jedi 2 years ago, and I left the cinema. I've grown to like it, and I'll sit and watch it but I left the cinema a very disappointed man. It just did not hit the beats. And I do like it. There's loads of really good bits in it. As soon as Snoke came on screen, I thought, whoa, this is good now. I like it now. And then, you know, Canto Bites on. And I was telling somebody the other day about, you know, the practical effects that JJ started in The Force Awakens. That opening shot of The Last Jedi, it's the least of its problems, but that opening shot when the camera, it goes... They've even nicked that riff from The New Hope, the piece of music there. Pans down and then you go zooming in and you go zooming past, I presume it's Admiral Akbar's ship, and it's just it's a CGI shot, obviously, but that's what I hated. I thought we'd moved away from this now, you know. The human brain can see CGI a mile off. We know what is real and what is fake. So that's one of the things I didn't like about that opening shot. That's just... And then there's obviously lots of other things I didn't really like about that. But anyway, for whatever reason, though, again, in The Rise of Skywalker, there were loads of great sections. Loads of brilliant scenes, like that opening bit when Ren is slaying all those guys. Sorry, spoilers, by the way. Slaying all those dudes on that planet to find that holocron thing. That's great. And the desert planet section is great. And then the jungle training, I liked all that. And then... I just was not really a fan of finding out that Snoke is just this bottled... We knew he was some sort of clone thing. And nothing, I don't know. Snoke's transparency was rubbish, and also the fact that she's a Palpatine just felt like such a cop-out. When we first speculated about what was going to happen after The Force Awakens, I would have loved it to have been this whole Plagueis thing. Sorry, let's give you something to look at. And as for this guy, I knew it would happen. He's hardly in the film, you know. There's nothing that he does except you see loads of First Order stormtroopers getting shot on God mode, and then when he appears, he doesn't do anything. Still, it's a nice card back. Do you know what? I really apologise. This is becoming negative. I just was very 50-50 on that film, I'm afraid. Yeah, I can't be somebody who went in and said, oh, it was incredible. But I tell you what was incredible this year. This guy. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold. He's fucking awesome. That show is fucking awesome. Insert profanity in the middle. Anyway, he's brilliant. I've sent links to people who I know who are a bit kind of, they saw The Rise of Skywalker and they're like, and they're not massive Star Wars fans necessarily, but they've seen The Mandalorian and they're kind of like, also, wow, it's not bad, that, you know, it's good. So there you are. What else can I tell you about this year? The Mandalorian was just so good. I'm glad that if The Mandalorian didn't exist, then my faith in the product that they, I mean, my faith in what they're producing would have dwindled severely. Even though I loved Rogue One and Solo, I accepted and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, what am I doing? I've opened this to review for you. There it is. This guy will sit on thusly. I presume he puts his hands there. You can, yeah. Oh, come on, man. There you go. Anyway. So 4 years have gone by since I was buzzing. This time 4 years ago, I left Force Awakens, I was buzzing. I know that the whole parallels of, you know, making it similar to the New Hope and stuff, but it was so brand new as well. You can't say it was a complete clone. Some of the threads were, it wasn't perfect by any means, but some of the threads were similar, but a lot of what you saw was just fresh, man. It was great. Exciting. And I just think I think they blew it, you know. Somebody dropped the ball for the second one, episode 7, and God help him, Abrams had to do something for the last one, and that's the consequence. I don't know if we should all be blaming 7 or what, but I just think that they failed spectacularly on it. It was half of what it could have been. It could have been mind-blowing, and it wasn't. He looks pretty cool, doesn't he? Look at that. Check this out. Anyway, that's been my end of... Oh, I just got that. This has been my end of year. Blast from the past here. Look at this. Newt Gunray. Rune Hako. Got all these. The only one I don't have, which nobody has, is... oh, wow. Are these 6-inch, 12-inch ones? Oh, yeah. 12-inch figures. Wow. Is that TC14 at your service? So rare. But I bet fellow figure collectors, if you're watching, James, if you're still with me here, you'll have that. He has everything. All right, then. I think I've covered everything there. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'm really sorry if you're someone who loved The Rise of Skywalker and you've just heard me bashing it again. I've been in the middle about it. I'm not like one of these people who say, it sucks, man. It sucks. I could never say something sucks that's got Ian McDiarmid in and it's got Mark Hamill and all the old cast. I loved so many elements of it. I just thought it was really clustered and it just feels very messy, and it's such a shame that it feels messy. So there you are. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. I'm boring myself. Let's give the Mandalorian a quick spin. Look at that dude, man. Awesome. And we can look forward to getting another figure of him in complete armor. Full armor, you know. What do you call it now? Oh my God, what's that metal called? Oh God, no. No. Bastic metal. Oh my God. I'm never going to remember. Beltic. Oh God. I've got no way of finding out. I'm really sorry. Leave in the comments the name of the metal. I'm going to kick myself later, man. But he has the whole suit of it at the end. Begins with a B, doesn't it? Anyway. God bless you all. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out. Can't remember the name of that metal. Damn it.